What was that? We've seen quite the first innings at Wankhede. Punjab Kings started sharp. They dropped alarmingly in the middle overs. It felt like they might only reach a middling total. But the last 5 overs have brought 96 runs, led by Sam Curran and Bhatia. And Punjab finished with 214 for 8 against Mumbai Indians. This is Visit Saudi presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout. Tom Moody here with us. Tom, quite the last 5 overs those.
Swept off our feet, really. As you said, quite rightly, they were sort of heading around that sort of 160, 170, which was going to look miles off the mark. It looks a very good surface once again at the Wankhede Stadium, and if it wasn't for a couple of terrific sort of innings towards the back end of that Punjab innings, and to be fair, some pretty poor bowling from the Mumbai Indians.
Yes, I'm almost torn as to whether I want to address what was bad or what was good. Let's go with the good. Sam Curran comes up at number 6. Punjab at that point have lost 3 for 18 in a spell of 3.5 overs, which looks to have put the game in Mumbai's balance. But a fine partnership there between Curran and Bhatia.
Yeah, look, it was an innings of leadership from Sam Curran. He's obviously carrying the badge at the moment as captain with Shikhar Dhawan out of the mix. He took his time, recognising he had to sort of get the ship back on track, and once he got himself in, and once he felt that the time was right to go, he took off with Harpreet and really just set them on course to what we think is a very, very good score.
And also, if we just focus on that Curran innings, like you mentioned, took his time. It can be a bit of a dilemma for batters who position themselves as hitters or finishers when you end up coming a bit earlier than usual as to whether they should go all out from the start. But 17 of his first 15 identified that there will be some overs at the death and then just took off like anything.
Which you can do at Wankhede. You always do know that those last 10 overs, as long as you've got wickets in hand and you've got batsmen in, anything is possible. He very much absorbed the pressure at the time and then pressed the button, recognising that that Mumbai, even with Archer back, are still a little bit sort of vulnerable with their bowling. And that's, to be fair to Archer, he hasn't played any cricket, so he has got an unbelievable record and reputation, but still he's short of match condition.
Before we get to that Mumbai bowling in the last 5, a word on Bhatia. Does come in with a reputation as a bit of a power hitter. Hadn't been in the IPL for what, a decade. And he too, like Curran, 16 of his first 20, but then just took off 25 of his last 7 before getting out.
Yeah, it was a wonderful innings. Again, he's a mature player. He hasn't played a lot of IPL, and as you said, hasn't played for a long time. But again, absorbed the pressure and realised once he got in, it was time to target the boundaries, and wow, didn't he do that? But do that exceptionally well.
So now let's come to the bowling. 15 overs, 118 for 4. Mumbai, with their 6 bowlers, did have a lot of options on the table, even without the benefit of hindsight. And hindsight tells us that over went for 31. Would you give your most inexperienced bowler, a left armer coming into 2 left-handers, that 16th over?
Yeah, look, Arjun Tendulkar is selected as a specialist bowler, so he bowled a good over at the finish against, I think it was against Sunrisers Hyderabad in Hyderabad. So yeah, look, he I don't think that was a poor judgment from Rohit Sharma. It's just an over that went wrong, which can happen at that venue. The more puzzling thing for me was that why Piyush Chawla only bowled the 3 overs. After bowling so well, he bowled the 3 overs. Picked up a couple of wickets just for 15 runs. So he was short of using all of his overs, which may have well been an error at that point.
And as it turned out, in that death phase, none of the bowlers, leave alone Arjun Tendulkar, Behrendorff went for runs, Cam Green's over went for 25, Archer too conceded. What did they do wrong?
Well, they missed their mark, didn't they? They didn't hit. Wankhede Stadium is not a great. It's not a particularly big ground. But if you're not nailing your Yorkers, or your variations are only modest, you're going to disappear into the stands. We've seen that so often. It's a bit like Chinnaswamy and Bangalore, where it can be brutal for the bowlers if you get batsmen in and you're slightly off the mark. And clearly, all of Mumbai Indians bowlers in that last 5 overs were way off the mark.
Before we look ahead to what we can expect from the second innings, just a word on how vital this innings can be for Punjab Kings on the whole, how much of a fillip it could be to the team. We did see a disappointing batting performance in their last outing against RCB, where barring 2 batters, no one did anything of note. Still without Shikhar Dhawan, you still didn't have your gun overseas batter in Liam Livingstone fire, but you've ended with 215.
Amazing, really. You wouldn't have thought that, given the start and given the personnel that has either got out or not available, that they would be, shooting above 200. But it just goes to show what a collective team can do with individual outstanding performances. We haven't even mentioned Jitesh Sharma, his contribution at the end there, 25 off 7 balls. Again, that's just an incredible impact for the team to launch them well above 200.
And that's 2 successive games now where Jitesh has done the bit right at the end. Even in that RCB game, it was his 41 of 27 that almost took them close. Impressive signs, finishing well for them.
Yeah, look, he looks a good player. Hitting 4 sixes tonight. He looks like he's got a pretty simple method. Hits, through the line of the ball, tends to hit the ball straight down the ground, either side of wide mid off or wide mid on. There's not a lot of complication around what he tries to do. He's got a very strong base. He's clearly got a great swing. So he has been impressive. I think he's been impressive the last couple of years.
Now, Mumbai Indians chasing 215. It is Wankhede, where funny things do happen. But the layout of this innings, would you be interested to see how they use Tim David?
I think he'll remain in his position, at number 6 as the finisher. The thing with Mumbai is that we've said all along that their strength is their batting. So it wouldn't surprise me to see them chase these down, given the depth and quality of the batting they've got available. And a number of those players are in form. If Rohit Sharma's recaptured form, Ishan Kishan's in form, Tilak's in form, you've got Syria, who's come back into form. Green's just got a match-winning innings against Hyderabad. Tim David hasn't really had too many opportunities to launch, so there's plenty of depth, of quality, of power hitting there that could easily chase down this total of 215.
On the Punjab bowling front, as they look to defend this, like you said, won't be easy. We'd imagine Nathan Ellis slots in from that impact bench. How do you see them splitting their overs? How do they look to negate this power-packed Mumbai batting lineup?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Well, I think it's going to be predictable how they start. With Ashdeep Singh's going to start with the new ball, and he's done a good job with the new ball this year. And he's a quality bowler. But what's going to be interesting is how Sam Curran used his spin. Rahul Chahar, who's a fine bowler, once a Mumbai Indian, hasn't really caught fire yet this IPL. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he go about his business. There you go. Tells you it all. 6 game, 2 wickets, and with a strike rate that's not that memorable, 57. Yep. So he is better than that. He's far better than that, and it may well be his match to take here, because when you've got a lot of runs on the board, it gives you a bit of a cushion, particularly for a spinner and particularly a wrist spinner. So and he'll be also quietly thinking, would be nice to have a good outing here against Mumbai after they released me or didn't get my services back.
Yeah, it does have happy memories for this side, does Rahul Chahar. Arshdeep Singh's usage, like you mentioned, he's been used a lot more at the top. Numbers will show you that he's bowled more in the power play than he ever has before for Punjab. In a game like this, do they still adopt, at least to begin with, a top and tail approach with Arshdeep, or are you somewhere considering saving a bit more for the death?
Well, they've got Sam Curran, this year in their setup, which they didn't have last year. So there's more support at the death so they're not solely dependent on Arshdeep. Look, I would be using definitely a couple in the power play, because at the end of the day, what they need is wickets in the power play. So they need their most effective bowlers bowling in that first 6 overs. And yes, it would be nice to have a couple of overs up your sleeve at the back end, along with Sam Curran, to be able to sort of manage the death overs. They've also got Ellis, who I'd imagine is going to come into that 11. So they've got 3 very good finishers with the ball. It's just a case of, are they going to be on song tonight with their Yorkers and with their slow balls?
Right, so just as this innings almost about to get underway, the Mumbai chase, let me get a prediction.
Yeah,
you did sense something special would happen in the second innings of that day game.
Yeah. Look, put it this way, it's far more than what Mumbai would have expected to be chasing. But it wouldn't surprise me to see them get past it. But it's going to take a couple of pretty special contributions with the bat. But they've got the quality there, which we've highlighted.
Right, so can Mumbai gun down this total of 214 that Punjab have set them to make it what will be 4 wins in a row for Mumbai Indians? Been a while since that happened in the IPL. We'll be back with you as soon as the innings is over. Be sure to follow the game on the ESPNcricinfo mobile app. The win probability has been going wild in this game, ebbed and flowed a bit in the first innings, so keep a track on that. Let's see how much it ebbs and flows in this second innings as Mumbai begin their chase. We'll be back right after it on Visit Saudi presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Timeout.